What's up? What's up?
What's
All right.
happening? What's happening?
Everybody's in their right place, man. It came right up this way. All right. We're getting the hang of this three person thing. All right, we got it. We got it.
Nice. Looks nice.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Local Musicians.
XP.
All right, all right.
XP.
Now, can we get Local Musicians XP? Let's see if we can get. We're going to try to do that.
Why do you get all the verbiage? That's what I want to know. Why me and Darryl just only get one letter a piece?
Oh, let's do that. Okay, I'll say Local Musicians XP. How about that?
Wait, what do you want to say?
Or we can go backwards. You can go Local Musicians XP. You got three
okay, so you can say welcome to Local and then Darryl musician.
All right,
musician.
Okay.
Okay, so who's
late? Daryl's gonna be late. I can see it already. Bro.
Okay, wait a minute. I got faith in Darryl. I got faith in Darryl.
Behind the beat, bro. He's behind the beat.
I got faith in Darryl. So listen. Okay, let's see. So I'm saying welcome to Local, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Musicians.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you late, bro. You way late, bro.
Or you just
saying?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's try it. Okay. All right. Welcome to Local
Musicians.
XP. I told you, bro.
You've been listening to too much Dilla, Darryl. Too much Dilla. Too much Dilla in your diet.
Am I supposed to say XP?
You way late. Way late.
A little latency. You got to catch up to it. You got to go. You got to anticipate.
Okay. All right. I'll work on it.
No, he said don't worry about it. Let's try it one more time.
We'll try it again.
Well, I'll do the musicians. You do the XP.
Okay.
So Darryl's going. Who's doing XP?
Darryl's doing XP.
Okay.
So
XP. I'm still doing Local Musicians.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Welcome to Local Musicians.
No, I'm supposed to do.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Oh man, I messed it up. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a second. Okay. Hang on. All right. Okay. I got it. Welcome to Local
Musicians.
I'm so used to
local.
I know. I'm so used to like. All right, let me try it again. No. This is hard, man. This is
why
hard.
is your cadence so fast now? Welcome to Local.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, hang on. Okay, I got it. All right. Welcome to Local
Musicians
XP.
that was a Teddy Pendergrass version, man. That's the slow. No, that's not gonna work. That's too much. That's too much to worry about, man.
Hold on. Do I have latency or something?
I can't even say it right. I can't just say Local because I'm so used to saying fifth grade class. I'm so used to saying Local music. I can't get it right now. Can't get it right.
Well, just say it like you've been saying. We got to get something else for Darryl to say.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll work on it, man. We'll work on it. All right, man. How y'all doing, man? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good, man.
Doing fine.
You way late, Darryl. You
got latency, bro.
That's what it is.
I guess.
Oh,
so.
okay. I guess.
Are you recording this in Pro Tools or something? What you gonna chop it up later?
No.
Sample somewhere. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I should come. I should go out and come back in.
Buckies.
Take the triplet out, man. Take the triplet out, man.
I think I'm running behind you all or something.
Okay. I think so. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
You're in Savannah, bro. You in Savannah. That's what it is, bro.
Yeah.
You want me to go out and come back in?
No, you good.
Man,
no. Okay. That's what happened because I thought I'm like, hold on, I wasn't behind. I didn't think I was.
Darryl, what you been up to, bro? What you do today?
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've been a shout out to Sound Mixers. It's a company with a former student of mine, Shakira Thompson. And we've been working on some stuff. I'll just say that. She made me sign an NDA. So I can't even talk about it. But we've been working on some stuff. And it's looking very promising, and I'm extremely proud of her. So that's what I was kind of caught up with this whole past week. Plus,
you said a former student of yours.
Yeah, this was from the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
taught.
where you used to teach? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us any hints as to what it is, or is that enough?
You got an NDA, bro.
Okay.
Let's see here. It's
Well, just promise that you're
I
gonna
don't
break it
even
here
know if I
first.
can.
Just
Okay.
break it here first when
yeah,
it's time
yeah.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
When
right.
I have
Okay.
permission to it, like I will.
All
There
right.
you
I
go.
can
But it's
accept
just
that. I
something.
can
It's
accept
something
that.
in the field of audio.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I had a rehearsal today, so first time working with a person, so you
Yeah,
have
you
to
did.
learn. You have to learn music for somebody fresh and new. So it's always, I don't know if regular people understand, like, the feeling out process of dealing with new people. So yeah, it's interesting. So yeah,
And
I
a
think
different generation too.
oh yeah, definitely different different generation. They talking about Sesame Street from the DVDs. I mean, from from streaming. HBO's been streaming the episodes. I'm like, you don't mean that doesn't come on regular TV anymore? Like, what are you talking about? I said, never mind, don't worry about it.
It's been out there for a while, dude. It's been out
Don't
there
worry
for a
about it.
while.
You're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything I just said.
Man, speaking of Sesame Street, man, if y'all want a good laugh, pull up Maynard Ferguson playing Sesame Street, bro.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that, Joey.
That, bro, I laughed. I mean,
he had the
I was
hair.
like-
He had the hair like 70s.
the cocaine glasses,
smoky glasses. Yeah,
the cocaine glasses, the tent with the tent, and the whole, and his band. They had to stand up and play.
Oh really?
The horn players, yeah, they didn't sit down, they stood up.
Nice.
At least in this clip, they were all standing up, man. But it is hilarious, man. Just like, I was like, dang, it's like that. Y'all had to figure, y'all had to go to Sesame Street to get a tune. Like, wow.
You know they got there early. That was super early for them, bro.
Man, and it's like a whole production.
That's crazy.
It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. But yeah, man. Well, I had a cool lesson with Miles Lippy today. Tenor player who is going to Temple University next year, and who came out to the session and had some cool. We worked mostly on rhythm and learning how to play with it with a couple of different rhythms. But I made him solo with one note so that he could try to understand, listen to the word. Don't worry about what you're playing. Listen to the rhythm. And we actually got to some stuff. Man, it kind of reminded me of Kebby a little bit. I mean, not like, obviously not Kebby, but in terms of some of the concepts that maybe Kebby would do, where I've heard him, and I never really thought about that, but he'll play one note, like, and just stay on that one note and work it all around the rhythm. Is pretty cool. So yeah. So that was.
You started to get a lot of these saxophone players and stuff coming in for lessons, bro. Are they working on rhythm like you want them to, or they see the need for it? What is it?
All I'm doing is trying to introduce them to rhythm, and then also playing with the rhythm section,
right?
Which, I don't know how long it took y'all to get there. I guess I know it's daunting when you're young and you're trying to take a solo and you're trying to figure out what you want to play. How long did it take you guys before you or was it natural? I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking. Was it a natural thing for you guys to play with the rhythm section, or was that something that you kind of had to? Was it a process of learning how to do that?
What? Okay, you all can hear me, right?
Yeah. We do.
I'm okay. All right. For me, I was in the 12th grade, and I've been playing with jazz, man. So got a chance to, but that didn't really feel like professional because, the level that some of the students were on. The first time, I think I was with the IAJE South Florida conference, and I got onto a combo, and that's where EJ and Marcus Strickland and some other guys, we were all playing together, and we played 7 Steps to Heaven. I was not comfortable yet being able to run all the way through. Like Marcus was already there. Like, he was just running through the changes, and some of his stuff was repetitive, but at least he had something. So like after that, like I went home and I shedded on 7 Steps to Heaven for like a month, just trying to figure out how to connect the dots to be able to just, just to have the 8th note thing down. So after that, I think about like after a month of that, I was ready to just be able to sit in with the rhythm section and just feel comfortable. Like, okay, like I can really, gel and interact with the group, not just playing lines, but I could actually interact with the group and be able to listen, back and forth. So I think that's when it happened for me.
What about you, Tyrone, being able to play with the drummer and the bass player?
Well, the crazy thing is, my mom forced me and my brothers to play piano, and invariably we would kind of jam. I don't know when we got another keyboard or something. This is funny. Back in the day where you had the double boombox, whatever, where you could dub and stuff like that. So my older brother had one and I had one, and we bounced down some tracks like that, I'd record the piano part, Don would record the bass part, and then my little brother Dave played snare drum, but my mom wouldn't get him a drum set. He wanted a drum set. She's like, we don't have any.
I didn't know Dave played. Did Dave play snare in school?
Yeah, he played snare. School.
Okay.
Funny little factoid. I remember the day that Dave quit playing in the marching band. His freshman year, McDonald 35. You know how they haze the freshmen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, bro, I need you to carry all the drums." Dave's like, "Man, I ain't carrying nothing, man." He's like, "It's hot out here." He said, "Man, but they can't beat him up because I was a senior in high school, right? So they couldn't do him anything."
Okay.
So he's like, "Man, I quit. I'm not doing it, And then Don was a year older than me, so Don would come back from college and beat up on anybody too if they ever tried something with Dave. So Dave could do anything he wanted to do basically, but Dave quit. But I remember my mom wouldn't buy a drum set, so he was real creative, man. He'd hit on the back of the sofa to get the bass drums out, boom, and hit on something. I don't know what else he hit on, maybe the arm of the sofa. And that was our little band for the longest time. The only problem was Don could not, he had ADHD, bruh. We like, Don, just play the bass line, bruh. And so we'd be doing some stuff and David would rap over the top of it. And then Don would bring in a crazy sound, go, do, 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 do. We're like, bruh, you messing up the process. Now we got to start all over again with the dubbing and everything. It was crazy. But being able to lock it in when you're recording from a boombox and got to dub it down to another boombox, it's live. There's no, you can't make a mistake. You just got to keep going, So that was the first time was the little board in the back room and creating some songs and stuff like that, and trying to lock in because you have a boombox dubbing to another boombox. It was crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, we have, let's see, there's no real housekeeping. We got a show, a house concert with the trio on Saturday night, but it is private. I just found out. I thought it was public, but it is private. So sorry, because I told a couple of people about it, but it is going to be a private event. So sorry about that, guys. Man. Yeah. Are you at Red Light tomorrow?
I am not, but I think Lewis is. I got a gig at with Lori Williams at the something at 5. It's off of Peachtree. I can't live at 5. That's the name of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's outside on Peachtree Street near the Alliance Theater, I believe.
Oh,
like,
okay.
14th, 12th or 14th Street, somewhere.
Right there at that intersection. Right there at that
Yeah,
intersection.
I think that's Colony Square. Is that area?
Colony
right
Square. Yep.
Yeah,
Colony
yeah,
Square.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So that's at 5 o'clock. And then
Okay.
I think I might skedaddle down the red light, catch Lewis. I haven't heard Lewis play in a long time.
Yeah. I'm done at 10. I got a private, and then I'm probably gonna go over there and
cool.
and
Let me
hang
know.
out. So, all right. So yeah, man. So we had a great little meeting between myself, Darryl, and Brian Falgout. My man, Mr. Jackson, was trying to get some sleep. So on Sunday,
thank you, brother.
So we let him off the hook, man. And we just kind of powwowed about some stuff. So Reddit, if anybody's checking out Reddit, we posted, where is it at, Darryl? We posted a video in Reddit.
Yeah, in the jazz subreddit.
The jazz subreddit. Okay, so y'all can check that out. And that's helping us actually boost a little bit on the YouTube. So we're gonna do some more posting with Reddit for sure. But I had been thinking about an idea for a while. Actually, we had already kind of done something where Tyrone and I talked about a performance that I can't remember where we were, but pulled up a video and just kind of gave a little hands-on. Maybe it was just you. It wasn't even me. It was just you, right? Didn't we talk about your solo or something? I think it was.
Yeah, we did. I remember that.
And I remember we got some really great feedback, and Brian was like, man, we need to do more of this. So Darryl and I started talking about these reaction videos that's going around and how, I'm sure everybody's checked out some of the reaction videos where people react the first time that they actually see something, and they're like super viral right now. And there's some real funny ones too. But we started thinking about, man, how can we get in this game? And I started thinking about this thing called the breakdown, right? And I was like, man, we could just break down performances or whatever we want to do and kind of have our own little reaction to the video or whatever. So tonight is the world premiere, the first installment of the breakdown, and we chose a topic that is very close to all of our hearts. I just happened to see I'm a Midnight Special fanatic. I used to watch this when I was a kid. Try to stay up till midnight. Half the time I couldn't make it, but my sister would she'd be trying to wake me up because the show was on. I'd be dead tired, man. I'd be in elementary school. So I'm out, man. But I remember certain things. And now what they've done is they've released a bunch of these performances. And the great thing about the Midnight Special, guys, if people haven't checked these out, is you really get to see the era when all music, it didn't matter what the genre was. It was like, if it was good, they wanted you on the Midnight Special. It had nothing to do with genre, it had nothing to do with color, had nothing to do with anything. You can see some of the greatest performances, man. And another thing, it's all live music. It is real cats playing. So if you're young out there and you really want to see how it used to be done, go check out the Midnight Special channel on YouTube and just check out, man, how cats were and people were singing and people were playing, and it's just a really, really, really cool thing. So they just released Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters from 1975. I had not seen this, so I've seen everything on the Headhunters. I remember Darryl back in I think I brought that when they did the HD stuff from Germany. I remember bringing that into the Funk Life page on Facebook
Yeah.
that you used to have. And
Right.
so I'm an avid, like I've seen like a lot of these performances. And what was so cool about this, man, I mean, there's many things that we're going to talk about, but just the fact that they're playing for an audience that they're just there to see great music. That had nothing to do with jazz musicians, had nothing to do with musicians, period. It's just people that are there to watch and check it out. So this, and you can kind of see some of the expressions, man, of the kids sitting around checking it out and just having their minds blown by what they are seeing. So with no further ado, I'm gonna have Brian Falgout pull up the Headhunters from 1975 on the Midnight Special. This is about 7 minutes long. So I hope that you guys will check this out because we are going to break this down and talk about all the stuff after we finish listening to it. All right, check it out. Let's go. Woo. Woo. All right, stop it, Brian. Brian, there you go. All right.
Woo.
Woo.
Man.
I mean, I've watched this I don't know how many times, and I'm still like I'm in awe, man. I'm in awe.
I got a question. So I'm assuming if I'm wrong in this assumption, then correct me. Because we're not seeing the whole clip from the beginning because it looks like it starts with a drum thing, but I'm feeling like that's coming out of the first section Other than that, I would think that he's playing the second movement first and then the first movement second. So,
Okay, so
do you think that they played the melody first and they just picked it up from
no,
that section?
no, because you have time constraints. So
Right.
this is the arrangement for this is another thing that blew my mind was the arrangement for the midnight special. Mike Clark comes in with that drum break. If you don't understand rhythm, you don't know where he is in the beat, man.
Right.
I mean, you're talking, this is like this is like, oh man, there's so many levels to this, but that's how they started it too. And they never play the melody. They never play the melody.
People mess up the timing on this song all the time. So especially coming out of that coming in with the bass line is, they're going to mess up the timing on that most of the time anyway. Do you feel that, Chris, that they mess up the timing, bass players?
I just feel people haven't studied the tune. They think they hear it and they think they can play it. That's what I get.
Right.
So, I mean, I remember the first time I heard Lil Jon and Phil and those guys at Apache playing this, I was outside. I thought it was the record because it was like, it was so unbelievable. I was like, are those cats playing? I walked in and it was these cats playing that. And it's like, you can't get to that level unless you study this stuff, man.
Right.
And there's a lot of complexity in this tune and in this stuff that you can't just walk up and play it. So I want Darryl to kind of speak a little bit more on that, but the complexity of it, but just to have to come up with a 7-minute arrangement of Chameleon for the midnight special, and this is what they came up with, man. And the dynamics, it's like you never feel like you always feel like something different is happening. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but it's like every little thing from when they completely break it down, and now Herbie's about to change sounds. It's amazing. So, but Darryl, go ahead and speak, man. I know you got a lot to say.
I mean, on the issue of like the arrangement itself, like, I mean, I have to go back and really, listen to it just as far as like the transition between the first section and the second section. But it's something precise, like you hear a lot of cats that try to play this song, but that's what speaking of what you're saying, they don't really know the song. And so it ends up just kind of being like, okay, when we get to this section, we just kind of play around a bit and then we'll finally transition it to the next one. It's just like, no, like, there's some sections in there where they, where Herbie is soloing, and then there's some, kind of like shout chorus kind of sections, where you really have to know the count. And the time signature kind of switches around. So it's an actual song, all the way through. It's not just kind of like a jam beat just to like flow over, a little bit,
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk. So what goes through, we'll start with with just Herbie, with his playing on the roads and that first section.
I got to start with the clap first.
Okay, start with the clap. Okay.
Because it's so funky. He sounded just like a guitar player would play. Like, the clavinet is supposed to, so it's supposed to emulate the electric guitar. So comping wise, right? But it has like a quack to it too. You can get a lot of with that Hohner clavinet, right? Usually the D6 is what everybody uses, whatever. But anyway, you put effects on it to mimic a guitar, right?
Like a wah pedal.
Like a wah pedal, yeah. The killing thing about it is that the guitar player is comping in the middle of the stuff too, which is so happening, right?
And there's 2 guitar players on this.
Right. So
not just one.
You hear it, but everybody's found their spot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, say that again.
Right. Everybody's found their spot in the groove and know how to wait for it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a difficult thing right now, is to wait and find your part in the groove, like a percussionist. That the shaker comes in so cool, right? I was like, dang, the shaker is just like on point, And then
Barrett,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
No, Darryl.
Well, I was gonna say Barry White. Barry White was a master of that. Like they said, in some of his sessions, he would just go around to each guitar player, grab their guitar, and like play their little part, and then just kind of create this whole interlocking rhythmic.
It's a weave. Yeah, they call it a
thing.
weave. They call it a weave.
Right, yeah.
It's the weave.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so back in those times, and especially in that period, they were thick with that. Just in terms of orchestrating, it was an orchestration. It wasn't just everybody just picking their own thing. Yeah.
So, and see what you were talking about with the clav is how do you? They're weaving clav and two guitar players.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody's stepping on each other's toes.
No.
Right.
The groove is strong, man. The groove is real strong. I think, and that section right there is so much more open than the first section, right? So that occupies so much space.
But that's coming up. Waiting here, right. It's coming up though.
That's the thing. But to vibe off of that, I don't know if y'all can hear this. Right? I don't know if y'all can hear it.
Yeah.
But you have 2 beats of the B flat minor and then 6 beats of that D flat sus, whatever you want to call it. So it gives you enough time to really, really construct something, right? Without the 2 chords changing so close together back and forth. So it's real sneaky. And in the original one, the way Herbie comes in with the rolls, it's just so, it's like, where did he come from with that? And the same thing here. He was real sneaky when he came in here. He's letting it develop,
Well, that's another thing, man. Can you talk about him, the space that he's playing with, bro? He's playing something, and then he leaves 2 bars of space after he plays something.
And the temptation is to play the Rhodes while you playing the clav part. But he didn't even touch the Rhodes when that was going on. He was like whatever he was playing, So it was like, it was just a mastery in leaving space, but you have the jazz aspect with the improvisation. So it's like a perfect marriage of what was going on in funk and, exploration in jazz, so.
When I listen to this, it still reminds me of the Miles Quintet in the 60s, the energy of it. Like it just, they played with that kind of space, like Miles, Herbie, Wayne, all had that kind of thing where it was a little bit freer. It was less structured than it was like in the bebop era, where everything was kind of like nailing, chord changes or superimpositions over, certain chords. This thing had this free energy to it,
Right.
So that's I feel that when I listen to Herbie, it's like there's no difference. It's just a different rhythmic backdrop to the whole thing, but the style and the expressiveness of it remain the same. Yeah, the sensitivity, right.
What about the bark of the Rhodes, of a real Rhodes? Like when you hit it a little bit harder and overdrive it, you could hear like that bark in there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got one time that's kind of dead too. I hadn't heard it before, but I heard it just now. It's one of them. It's a little bit dead, but it still sounds cool. That's back in the day where, man, you could break a time. They used to take a paper clip and put it in. Herbie talks about this. Man, having a real Rhodes, you have to have a toolkit with you. You know what I'm saying? It could break on you. You remember you told the story about Pat Bianchi was having some issue with the organ. He reached in there, changed it up, grabbed it up. That's what you have to do with those real instruments, man.
On the spot.
Yeah.
To Darryl's point.
No, what were you saying? I'm sorry, Chris.
No, I was going to say on your point about the Miles Quintet and with Tony, Ron Carter, Wayne, and Herbie, and you talked about the space and the freedom, right, inside of those compositions. So the way Mike Clark is playing, where if you check out what he's playing on the ride cymbal, it's very reminiscent of Tony, man. He's not playing straight. He's not just playing like a straight rhythm. He's going in between the 16ths and the 8ths, which is kind of like a swing concept, right? Where you're constantly changing the rhythm, but he's locking the groove underneath. Man, that is killing to me. That's like next level, man, because and another thing I like about this is the switch to it's pretty much 2 and 4, where obviously Harvey Mason, the master Harvey Mason's groove is completely different on the record than what Mike Clark is playing. But the way Mike Clark is playing it, even when we get to the A section, which is coming up, he's still keeping that 2 and 4, man, and it just has a drive to it. And I think it's allowing him to be more free on the ride cymbal and catch more accents, man. But he never misses the groove. So let's check out the second part where Herbie goes to the art right quick, Brian.
Okay.
Stop it right there. Stop it. I'm sorry, man. Stop it, man.
Wait, notice how many keys are on that thing. It's not a lot of keys at all.
That's an ARP Odyssey.
Yep, ARP Odyssey. And he's got to create the sound,
Man, what he just played right there, though, man.
Right, that major third against the minor thing. It was so hip.
All right, go ahead, man. I just had to stop it, man.
Back it up a little bit so we can hear it again.
All right, back it up. Okay. Stop it for a second, Brian. Stop it. So go back a little bit, and where you can see Mike Clark's ride cymbal pattern, and look what just watch his ride cymbal right there. That's good. Watch the ride cymbal.
His legs. His face.
Terrible. All right. All right. All right.
Let me just say this.
You get the theremin, bro. You gonna get the theremin for the next show?
I really want the Herbie sign in the back, but I want to say Tyrone, but it's gonna sound so bad. Tyrone. I want my lighted sign in the back too, in red or something, man.
He not only had he had the Echoplex. Okay,
Yes.
so the Echoplex.
You did some research. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Come on, man. Come on. So what's crazy though, man, is again, watching this again, he's basically he's trying to paint a picture from the record. Every sound that's on the record is in this performance.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. But him thinking in that way of course we're going to always recreate. I mean, it was probably different every time they did it, but to have the wherewithal to say I'm going to honor even some of the licks that he's playing. You can kind of hear.
I think we take it for granted now because keyboards are so prominent now.
Mm-hmm.
To deal with the experimentation, like the man hours it would take just to control all those things that he did, plug the stuff in and experiment with it. He was looking like a mad scientist, but you saw raise his hands up. He was so happy when that theremin kicked in like that and it was connected and stuff. But it takes a lot of time. You got to people don't know Herbie Hancock was an engineer, an electrical engineer. So he went to school for it. And so
I don't think that was a theremin though.
I think it was. This is the crazy thing, Darryl, because I'm like, it has a theremin effect, but it's in the Odyssey, the ARP keyboard, which I didn't know they had. So how are they doing that? That's what I want to figure out.
No. This is what I heard about that. Okay. What was happening was he was setting.
It's his foot controlling.
No.
Okay.
It's not him at all. It's the keyboard doing that because there's a filter on the keyboard that goes by time. Right. So he could set the filter at a certain place, and then he was just had his hands raised up like that. He was following the movement of the filter. The filter wasn't following him, so it was just a trick.
Right.
No.
He's right because he's right because there's no way you can hook a theremin up to the sound. It cycles. I was trying to figure out because the new keyboards now they have like an optical kind of thing.
Device now
that can follow your hands now.
Right.
But I was like, they didn't have that back then. How is he doing that? It's like a theremin type of thing, but it's on the ARP.
The ARP his hands were following the movement of as the sound and like the sound went up, like as far as
he has the timing down. He's know how it's gonna
he was
cycle.
just sitting there, just following it. And just to make it look like he was controlling it with his hands.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, I know they don't have that little optical thing because that wasn't even invented yet.
Where did you read that, man? Where did you?
No, I've read that before on like gear. They call it gear sluts. I think it's Gear Space now or something like that. Yeah. But I've seen, I saw, and I'm looking, and I'm just like, hold on now, But then, like, I thought about that. Yeah, like you can.
So the
set
sound
it
is the sound is built in. You set the sound the way you.
No,
it's
an effect. It's an effect on the sound.
Yeah, an effect on the sound, and it will change the pitch slowly and make it go make it cycle up and down. And then it's like because when he went back, he changed it again to make it a little bit faster, and then it started growing faster.
Right.
And he was just doing this with his hands to make it look like he was controlling it.
Here's the crazy part. Through it all, the band had the wherewithal to just keep going. They didn't even look at Herbie. It was just playing, bro, and grooving. I'm like, if I was in Chris's band, Chris would be like, hey, bro, what you doing over there, bro? They just let Herbie just geek out, man. Mad scientist out on that joint, bro.
Well, it's his band. It's his band. So what they gonna do? They each one paying him.
Right. He's like, man, I brought all those keyboards and I'm using every piece of them keyboards, bro. I brought every one of them in here.
What I want to add about this is like, I mean, okay, as far as I remember, Cannonball with Mercy, or that song was Joe Zawinu. That was the first time. Yeah, with the he had a Wurlitzer.
Yeah.
On that, but like by the 70s, what had changed was the fact, the Fender Rhodes had become prominent, and the Wurlitzer was still prominent, but the clavinet was new. So there were these electromechanical instruments, and the thing about those are like real acoustic instruments, just like a guitar. They just have a pickup that amplifies the sound. And this was an era where this was a departure from the old stuff, the piano and the acoustic bass. Now we got an electric bass, which the P bass itself, that's something that's very a deep part of this sound too. To me, the Fender P bass, and then the Fender Rhodes, the clavinet, and then the synthesizers on top of it. Like, this is the height of analogism on stage, and just that type of sound was new right in that period. That's one thing that just gets me about it.
Yeah.
So a couple of interesting facts is the two guitar players, Blackbird McKnight and Wah-Wah Watson, both legends.
Yeah. He was on the VSOP stuff with Herbie.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
So and I just want to shout out to our brother Jez Graham, who is a Herbie fanatic as well, and who was a band. He played with Blackbird McKnight a lot in LA. So there's a little interesting fact of from somebody that we know very well. And then of course Blackbird went on to play with Parliament Funkadelic for years and years and years and years. But Wah-Wah Watson is the legend, man. I mean, he's on everything. There's Blackbird right there. And yeah, great player.
I have a question for you, Chris.
Okay.
Can you talk about Herbie's choice for Harvey Mason and then later on Mike Clark?
Okay. Yeah. Well, Harvey, there's an interesting. I'm not sure if Brian was able to get that clip, but a lot of people always wondered why Harvey didn't tour, and then also do the next album with Herbie. So we'll load a clip up there pretty soon. But man, the difference between don't play that yet, Brian. Let's wait on that for a second. But Harvey, man, quiet as it's kept, was one of the original cats to bring the rudiments to the grooves. Nobody had really done that before. So a lot of people think Steve Gadd was the first, and I'm not trying to, I mean, Gadd is an innovator and one of the all-time greats, but really, man, Harvey was just as instrumental in that. And that, because the first Headhunters record is 1973, man. That's
and he was
73.
so economical with his playing. He doesn't play a lot of the drums, you know. He's like reserved himself to snare, bass drum, and hi-hat on a lot of stuff.
Right. But maybe, if you really listen to that stuff, there's some super intricate stuff on the first record. Go ahead, Darryl.
Is there a connection between Joe Chambers and Harvey Mason?
That I don't know.
Joe Chambers, who was playing with Wayne Shorter in the '60s, had that kind of rudiment thing going on. That's the only person I can remember before Harvey Mason hearing that kind of thing, you know, in the drumming. But like Harvey is just like when you say that, it's just like, that is the only place that I've really heard it that deep like that.
In the funk setting is what, you know, and of course in the jazz, you know, Philly Joe, all the cats were using rudiments, but in terms of but bringing that up, which again ties from what you were saying earlier about the jazz tie-ins to the funk, of bringing that kind of finesse, because everything in the funk, I mean, obviously the James Brown stuff stands on its own for what it is, but there weren't a lot of intricate things going on between the instruments. I mean, there were ghost notes going, a lot of ghost notes, and so there were intricate things. I'm not saying they weren't intricate, but in terms of mixing the stickings is what I'm saying. Harvey was one of the innovators of that, man. And then
I just saw in modern. I'm sorry, to Darryl's question. Modern Drummer magazine 2014 says Joe Chambers was always great, was one of his influences. He said, I listened to Billy Higgins on a lot of records. He had some special soul happening. So he said Joe Chambers was always great. So it's one of his influences for sure.
Yeah. Billy Higgins is another cat that is, he, you know, is another guy that influenced a lot of people. But back to your question, and then Mike Clark, to me, man, took it to another place, because Mike Clark, who is a bona fide bebop drummer, had never really played a lot of funk stuff. Herbie pulled him out of a hat, man. As the story, I swear to you, as the story is, Herbie saw him play in a club, or went to see him play in a club. Maybe somebody told him about him or something like that. And Herbie said, man, you the guy, be at XYZ on this day. And Thrust was born, man. That's a true story, man. That's a true story,
man.
So
that's that Miles Davis stuff, like Darryl was talking about, when you just recognize cats.
When you recognize, that's what all great cats. I mean, all those. It's like they just have the magic eye, man. Because as much as I love the first record, I mean, I love them both so kind of equally, but the way that Mike Clark was playing in 74 was a little bit more reminiscent of what Garibaldi was doing in Tower of Power, right? Because Tower of Power is right in that area too, 72, 73. And Garibaldi was experimenting with taking the stickings and using them as grooves as well. So and this is also the one of the how can I say, the first adaptations of linear drumming. So Mike Clark, linear drumming is when none of the pieces hit together, so everything is broken, right? So if you listen to Actual Proof, that's a little bit what's going on the actual proof is the hi-hat and the bass drum and the snare drum aren't playing together. They're playing separately a lot of times. So he's one of the first cats that brought what we call linear drumming to the table. But I mean, Butterfly, I mean, Mike Clark drumming stands on its own. Harvey stands on its own. Both great. I love that Mike Clark was himself and not trying to be Harvey Mason and just, which is another testament to Herbie of he's going to call you because of what you do, not because he wants you to play. And I've heard that consistently through his career that he doesn't call people to play other people's parts. He calls people to be themselves. That's why all his stuff is so fresh, man. Think about it. Every cat that he's ever used, it's about he's on to the next thing, which is what all great innovators are, right? They're on to the next thing. They're not gonna repeat themselves, man. They don't want to repeat themselves.
He was a judge for the Thelonious Monk competitions for a long time, and he personally went to bat for Jackie Tarasin because he said, I don't want another Thelonious Monk clone. We don't want Thelonious Monk clones. We want somebody to be stretching like the vein of Thelonious Monk. And, there's an interview about a contentious argument that he had with Marcus Roberts about that, So, but he's always wanted your cat to be themselves, and not if you're going to do a Monk competition, he doesn't want you to play all the Monk licks, he wants you to be yourself,
Right.
So I thought that was cool.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing that just in terms of learning how to be a player, that can be the most confusing thing because like if you're an alto player, oh, you got to check out Bird, and it's like, I'm gonna check out Bird to learn, but a lot of people checked out Bird and just kind of stayed there, and it's just like, okay, well, when have you had enough Bird and it's time to move on to somebody else and try to figure, I guess it's just down, it's up to the person, I guess, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to tell you, hey man, if somebody cares, then they'll say, hey man, you've had enough Bird, let's find something else.
That's what I was going to say, man, it's all about also, man, is getting with the right band leaders who allow you to be yourself. That's like that's gold, man, because 9 times out of 10 a lot of guys want you to play like, oh man, you got to play it like this is how it was on the record. And I'm just like that to me, I mean, that's one of my pet peeves, and I know we all have to do it sometimes and we all do it, but it's like, to me, the greatest era of music, like if you're going to talk about from 70 or 69 through, whatever, the golden age of live music, is to hear, if you go to a concert, you want to hear something different. You want to hear, this is what Sting is so good at, man, is he's not going to play the stuff like the record. You're going to hear the song, but he's going to change something up to give you a different experience. I've never understood why people want to pay to go hear the record. They could hear the record at home. And any jazz musician, they're never going to play it the same. I mean, that's the great thing about the genre, is that it's going to be different from night to night. So, but pop artists in particular get into that. Oh, we got to play it like the record, and it's just like, man, you're losing. To me, it's why. I mean, of course, it's the song, but it's like, give the audience a different experience. That's just my opinion. What do you think about that, T?
Well, I mean, how much is the song? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much are you honoring? You got to figure out what is important, especially as a piano player. Like, I'll give you an example. Whenever you play with a vocalist or a saxophone player and it's just a duo, you gotta deem what is important. Well, I gotta play the bass line, right? I gotta do that. I only have 2 hands though. So the next thing is I have to play the harmony. But if there are some lines I gotta play, I gotta determine how I'm going to depart from either the bass line or the chords, or take a piece of both of them and put it in these two fingers while playing the bass line. So you're always making these decisions. I say that to say that when you are yourself, how much of it do you decide, we're going to do this? I'm going to play the actual bass line. I'm going to play this groove. Because it's the same thing with like Sissy Strut. Like, how many people play the Zigaboo My Less drum groove? And some people are like, you got to have that to play Sissy Strut.
But you're not going to sound like Zig. There's no way you can.
Right.
I can play that. I can go over there and play that right now, note for note. It's not going to sound like Zig, man.
But how important is that? Is my thing. How
it's exactly
really, really subjective.
It's absolutely, man.
You can't just say, hey. So now, if you say I'm going to do a Herbie Hancock tribute, or remix it, or what have you. I mean, I don't know. It's like certain songs are so iconic, you can't touch a Luther song and redo it. You know what I'm saying? It's just so iconic that it's so hard for you to recreate it in anywhere different than what it is. So, but I think, to your point, Chameleon and the Headhunters, I think you would get the blessing from all those cats to do what you want to do with the song. I think.
Oh yeah. I just feel like that era of the expectation that a person is going to go to a concert and hear the exact same solo that you heard on the record. I promise, I feel like that came out of the Kenny G era. And now you got like fans like Peter Griffin going to a concert. It's like, hey, buddy, I didn't hear the solo.
A Family Guy reference. A Family Guy reference.
Yeah, it's like that kind of jazz fan that really, it's like they don't know anything about where it came from. They're really more of a pop listener, and pop listeners expect to hear everything like the record. But it's just like, hey, man, like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, but quite as it's kept. But man, there's, again, it's like it depends on what, like, okay, if you go on and Google Stevie Wonder 1974, okay, bro, and if he's playing super, it's going to have a different, it's the song, but it's got a different thing to it, because number one, he was playing all the instruments on the record.
Right.
You're not going to be able to you have to allow the musicians, at least that's what I think, man, is you have to allow the musicians. Again, this is why I go back to Sting, but this is why Sting uses the level of cat that he uses in his bands. Is a lot of times he's got guys that have a lot of jazz training in his bands, because he doesn't want that same sterile. He's not looking for that, man. Peter Gabriel's another guy, same thing. They're not trying to recreate the record. It's ridiculous.
Can we talk about the aesthetic? The afros. I can see you wearing the green pants there, Chris. I can see you wearing them.
I wear that whole outfit he had on. I wear that whole outfit. You think I'm joking, bro?
But
I wear that whole.
I mean, Miles with the short crop afro or whatever,
right?
That kind of thing. To now, I mean, it's the 70s, so
Well, it's there's two artists. I'm gonna let you finish, but
Sly and Family Stone,
Sly and Jimi Hendrix. Those are who those cats were checking out. Is Sly and Jimi Hendrix.
But
are the two?
My thing is this: is that like a huge departure from the norm for jazz cats? You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah. Well, it is, in my opinion, because not just necessarily the look, but also listen to the way, if Herbie is yes, it has a whole bunch of vocabulary in there, but the way that he's playing inside the groove, this is another thing that we talk about, is sensibility to the different feel, understanding the feel of what you're playing in. A lot of people, again, they don't have any clue about that. They will play the same way. Whatever the rhythm, it doesn't matter. But if you we were listening to Michelle Camilo the other day, Tyrone.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's a feel. That's a different kind of feel. that you have to understand
Mhm.
what that language is. If you
Right.
listen to the Headhunters, okay, you can't just go in there and play a bunch of like and play like swings, you know, whatever, man. Like
Yeah,
you
you
have
got
to
to find a groove. You
understand.
got to find a groove in everything. And
You have
everything
to
with
right.
it.
You exactly. You have to
Yeah.
understand that, man. So I don't know, Darryl, you got something to say about that because we've talked about that too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like just from I don't know if I genre, but okay, like swing. Certain tempos of swing just make you dance a certain kind of way. Wouldn't you
Mhm.
agree? And
Yeah.
then and then all of a sudden when you go to a bossa nova groove, then all of a sudden it's like a sway, you know,
Right.
that goes along with the beat
Exactly.
that people just naturally do. So then with this,
Right.
you know, with this kind of feel, you get this kind of, you know, this bounce, you know, and
Yep.
something that has like an attitude, and it is
Right.
communicated through the music, and it makes you move that way too. Like if you're really receptive to just, you know, movements along with music. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and on that note, Brian, play the beginning of the video. Watch Herbie's body language. That was another
Mhm.
thing I was really paying attention to,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Is his body language is telling you where the groove is. So
Right.
take the notes out of it. Just watch what he's doing with his body, and he's telling you where the groove is. Check it out.
Ooh.
Look at his body, man.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. All right. You can stop it. But you can see where the snare drum. You can see where the 2 and 4 is in his body language.
Right.
That's so bad.
Right.
That's so
You know what I
bad.
mean? It's the
Right.
little things like that I think
It
you
showed
know,
that's the
another
Africa, bro. That's Africa right there. It shows.
another
Right.
lesson, but it's another lesson for young guys is, man, pay attention to body language.
It's
You know,
embodiment. It's embodiment, man. It's the people
That's
studying it. Go ahead, Darryl.
I was just saying, like, you know, that there's a dance to all of this music too. Like, for instance, Bird. I've been studying the Omni book lately. Just okay. So I took all of the songs, put them on a playlist. I organized them by tempo, organized them by the key,
Of course you
organized
did.
them by some other stuff, right? And I noticed like most of the stuff they played, was it was like a danceable tempo, you know. And it's like I think we kind of get away from real, like when we're studying trying to be a bad cat as far
Yeah.
as the solo and dexterity and things. We get
Right.
away from the idea that this music was actually stuff that people
Right.
would get up and dance to, you know. And
Absolutely.
those
Absolutely.
dances, you know, Thelonious Monk danced. He got up and actually danced, you know, and that's something that, you know, we wouldn't see from hardly anybody, you know, straight ahead player today to actually get up and feel the rhythm of this, because there's so much we're inside our heads, you know, trying to create like these masterpieces that are on a very high intellectual level, but the dance part of it is still part of the intellectualism of the music, as far as I'm concerned. You know, that's what I think has to be. I mean, it's. I think for young players, they should learn to acknowledge that. Like, don't be afraid to dance along with this music, and because that's kind of where the feeling is evoked. And then the other thing I want to say about like listening to him play, is that's just straight up blues, man. I mean, you know,
right.
I mean, just the epitome of the blues, like as far as
Right.
expression, you know, like there's intellectual stuff going on with the harmony and melodic stuff that he's doing, but it's still just based straight up blues, and but it doesn't sound like he's just playing around. Like this is some high level blues playing, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm hearing from him.
Darryl, you're right, because this is my problem with everybody wants to play what the chord is, especially piano players. They'll be like, the D natural doesn't work against a B flat minor. You know, dude, he just played it. Did it sound good? Like, what are you arguing about? Your theory makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Because a strong melody will trump harmony any day. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I like it. You about to go on a rant. Go for it.
I just wanted to throwing it the James Brown funky drummer organ solo.
Yes.
Everybody says James Brown played a wrong note, but I'm like, okay, but if I were doing a tritone substitute, then I would play that note.
Right.
So is it really wrong that he played the note? He played it, and he also played it with some, like saying out. So to me, that came off as funky. The same way you play a major third against a minor third on the dominant chord.
Right.
What he did, that was funky because it resolved. I'm just saying, like, any note that you play can resolve back to the chord that's being played. But how you do it?
I'm sorry. Are you talking about the third as a sharp 9? You're not talking about it as a third, are you? Because a third and a flat third can't exist at the same time.
Exactly.
So we're going to call it a sharp 9. Do the major third against the minor third. That's all it is.
Right.
But you want to call it a sharp 9 because you're like, those two are not supposed to exist together. Okay.
Right.
When you were talking about movement, what's big right now is embodied music cognition. And it's an argument that says embodied music cognition tends to see music perception as based on action. For example, many people move when they listen to music. Through movement, it is assumed that people give meaning to music. This type of meaning formation is corporeal rather than cerebral because it is understood through the body. In other words, it's not your intellect that your body feels music. It is understood through movement. And so you can take the intellectual side out of it because your body already understands music. You see kids. I remember one time we were playing Take 5. And if you put the cerebral aspect in, you're like, you can't dance to 5/4.
Right.
And I see this little kid moving to it.
Right.
So the embodiment or the perception of music understood through the body is already there. And so we should encourage more movement. But, classical world, not knocking on classical, you're not supposed to have any movement. Even they move now more, but they used to look stiff. Now you see piano players like Ling Ling, and now they're really demonstrative because, hey, your body is supposed to feel the music. Just like you said, Chris, look at his body movement.
I mean, even with Take 5, like when you really, when you don't think about it and you just listen to it, you naturally just kind of feel like you're skating to it. I'm like, uneven skating, but still, it's kind of like a skating. I would skate to that music. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You skate?
Yeah. I have in the past. I'm not saying right now. I'm gonna get back to it though.
Okay.
But no, I'm saying like I could skate to that. Like there's a feel to all of these time signatures, and then the rhythms that are making up the motifs that interlock with each other and play against each other. Like to me, that makes you want to dance. And within that dance, like a lot of that's where the inspiration comes to play some of this stuff sometimes, like just the attitude of the attitude of funk to me, where it's kind of like you got this blues thing going on, but yet at the same time, I'm the SHIT. Like, that's we here to represent, we here to rock this, that kind of attitude, that forward, feel good. All all of that to me, like the music inspires that in me. Like nobody had to tell me, hey man, this is what you got to do and think and say when you listen to funk music. Like my kids can hear this and be like, oh, and they've never even heard it before, but they immediately can tell what this is communicating to them, and they start to feel that, and they, you know, jamming their heads. I think that's a natural part of the process with this kind of stuff. So yeah.
But to your point, swing used to be that too.
Yeah.
You know,
it still is to me.
I was just gonna say, but when it's really swinging, it still is, man. You know.
Yeah. Well, where's the temptation for people to get up and dance? You know, I mean, why are they not doing that? Why we made music so monument where it just stagnant stays there?
That's a great question. Didn't I ask that in the masterclass we did up in where were we up in Tennessee? I said in Tennessee. I asked. I said, why? I mean, when did this become dinner music?
Yeah.
That you sit in the corner, and it's supposed to be unassuming, and it's supposed to just be like paint on the wall. When did that happen? That's a really good question, because you know, I'm not sure. Do you guys have any idea when that became what this music is?
A lot of people blame bebop, that people started sitting down and listening to it because it was so cerebral. But I mean, a lot of music went through that. Classical music used to be dance music, minuets and waltzes and stuff. And when you sped up a waltz, it became a scare. So at some point in classical music, people started sitting down like, you know, but
yeah, I mean, is that
dance to it?
But I mean, there's got to be some sort of.
It's the natural evolution of music is going to get exhausted, you know. But you know, Latin music, people still dance to it, you know.
Yeah.
But they're studying pop music in schools now, bro.
Right.
They're studying pop music in schools. I cannot believe it.
Like, we speaking of reaction videos. There are some reaction videos on Cab Calloway, and
you keep forgetting to watch that.
Yeah, and then it's another I can't remember the name of them, but it's Lindy Hop dancing from like the 1940s, and man, that stuff, and they're like, I'm seeing young people do reactions to that, and they are like amazed, and that stuff, when you look at it, some of that stuff is so amazing. You know, that they like the Lindy Hop dancers, but it's just but you know, praise God for the internet. You can go and find and look at this stuff now. Younger people can be exposed to it, and might be even inspired to want to dance like that. But it's like, it's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, we get this mentality because of, I think this has become because of technology. But honestly, in this period, I think that's changing. But there was a time period when it was like, out with the 70s, we're in the 80s now. You know, in the 80s, we do this now. You know, man, you still wearing a Jerry curl, man. You better get you a Gumby and a fade, you know. And then from there, we went into the 90s era, and that was different from the 80s. Like, man, you still wearing overalls and.
Don't talk about Memphis, Tennessee, bro. Memphis, they still got Jerry curls, bro.
Outside of Chicago too. Southside Chicago and New Orleans. Hey, don't act like New Orleans. They don't wear the curl, bro. They still got the curl.
New Orleans got the curl activator. You don't understand that? That's different. That's Albie Shore activator, bro. You don't know about that.
Bro. They still wear the curl.
Like in the last 20, I mean, in the last 10, hold on. I don't hear you, Tyrone.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay. But I'm saying, like, in the last like 10, 15 years, I feel like I've been hearing about this too. I've been watching videos saying like nothing is really changing. Like, it feels like since the year 2005 or 6 that everything has kind of stayed the same in a lot of ways. Like, as far as, you know, it's no distinct style now. Everybody's wearing stuff from all these different periods. You know, I see people that are walking around trying to be stuck in 1950, dressing like they're in 1950, and others that are.
Saw one of those last night.
Right. It's like all over the place now.
Ricky Ricardo, bro. Fred
yeah.
Mertz. I'll just
well, that might be another show right there.
Because man, I don't know.
It is. I think
know.
2 years ago. 2 years ago was the first time that old music outsold new music. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Like all the pop music and all the pop people, old music outsold new music, which is crazy.
But it's like where we are now, the people that are on top is barely about the music.
Yeah.
It's about their lifestyle and where they come from and what their story is. And then they just have some songs that are a soundtrack to their life story and all that kind of thing. With I mean, minimal talent. It is what it is, but I'm just saying.
It's the same song, though. It's the same song. There's ain't but one song out right now. At least, I mean, it seems like every genre has one song that everybody bites off of. It's just a strange thing, man. It really is.
Here's something that's really crazy. Like on YouTube, you can look up dead rappers from each year, from like dead rappers from 2021, 2022, 2023, and they all show a little snippet of their music video. All right. So in one video, it's like 30 rappers that died in 2021. And it's like one long song. Each time they flip to a new rapper, it's the same beat, the same exact
same song, man. I'm telling you, same song.
Well, I mean, we are in a copycat world right now, so it's formulaic. Yeah, I jump on this formula and go to the next one. How many movies are doing the same thing, same plot twist,
the same thing, man?
Yeah,
This it's the same. It's just everything is like the
everybody
same.
got chicken and waffles now. KFC got chicken and waffles now. I mean, everybody's copying off the same thing. You know,
you can
is
get
there
chicken
anything
everywhere.
left? Chicken everywhere, Darryl. Everywhere, bro.
Chicken at the sushi restaurant, man. Like, it's like the variety. You know, man. You better get some DEI.
You about to hear it about the last episode. Da, 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 da,
the same, man. I don't.
Potholes are fight for us, though. Potholes are get march for us.
I
you
just
will.
think. Yeah, and I think though, like it looks like it's turning around though, like where people are starting to realize that. So it's like, okay, now that we've reached the end of this, let's go back and see what we can find with the individuality and the diversity, because you know this ain't it. Like this is one size is not fitting all.
I have faith in the next generation. I actually do, because you always see that one generation normally rejects what the previous generation did or whatever, you know. So I think that this next generation is gonna be, you know, it's coming out, is gonna be pushing. So
I hope so.
Yeah,
man.
because there's a difference between following trends and being innovative to me.
Right.
You know, some of these trends are just doubling back to stuff we've already done. But to truly come up with something that is, you know, forward thinking and that's a new perspective on things. I mean,
yeah, but in order to come up with
in
order to come up with a new perspective, you have to be yourself, and that's what nobody wants to be.
And I think that maybe a new instrument, and hear me out, a new instrument will make things innovative too. Like the Kai MPC has just affected a whole different thing, you know, as far as music production. So I think we just, if there's something else that comes out that people just get creative, you know, a lot of people say Dolby Atmos is going to be an environment that people will be really creative, because there's no, you know, you can do whatever you want in Atmos. But I think the technology has to catch up where we listen in Atmos, and most people listen to it on their phone and on their computer. Now, iPhone, you can put stuff in Atmos. It's just when people start getting creative with formulating the sound that does certain things, I think that might be a thing that's going to be super creative. I heard that the music from the movie Sinners is off the chart. So Mark Miller, he played me a track that had this electronica with the blues thing on. It was killing. I was like, oh shoot. So I got to check out the soundtrack to that. So there are some precedents for what is to come. So I'm excited about that in the future. Maybe us as teachers now can have that influence. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they'll be coming through the school of Darryl Reeves. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's going to move.
That's possible.
Is that the big thing that you're talking about? No,
not that's.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
It's not that.
But if I had to guess, it had to do with some movie or something. But I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna say anything. Don't say anything, Darryl. Don't get yourself in trouble.
I'm not saying anything.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, great show.
Yes,
we could have
brought to you by Callaway Blue Water.
We'll have to do a little follow-up, man, and get real technical about the Herbie performance. Want to break down some concepts. I was really blown away though by it just sounds so fresh. It's just the sound that just never gets old, man. And
an experimentation.
Well, I mean, but it was a product of him growing through the period from the Fat Albert Rotunda to that's I mean, it wasn't like the Headhunters that's what I'm saying. It's not like that's another like just like, man, this stuff doesn't just appear out of thin air, guys. No, guys and people just think we just gonna.
But you can see the same thing with Chick Corea, and you can see the same thing with even Tony Williams. I was like, I've heard Tony Williams like funky fusion record. I was like, when did he start doing that? I had to go backwards.
Tony is quiet as it's kept. Tony is the inventor of jazz rock.
Okay.
People want to give it to like Mahavishnu but Mahavishnu came through Tony. McLaughlin was a student of Tony's, man. Tony is
who did Tony, Wayne Shorter, Herbie, Chick Corea, who did they go through?
Right. Miles.
And Miles was always moving forward,
And that's what I guess, how, in my opinion, that's like what we can try to pass down as well is, you try to learn through what came before you, but then you have to be yourself. It's like I went on Instagram today and I purposely was listening because somebody sent me something, some drummer. I can't remember who the cat's name is, A Million Chops, whatever, man. And I started to, because I went through and how you go through the comments and stuff, and a lot of cats were like commenting on the stuff. But what I began to notice was it was like this, all these cats played exactly the same. If there was 20 of them in a room, I wouldn't know who was playing what, because it's like they're all sound, man, I mean verbatim, the exact same stuff. And I'm like, Tyrone, you said this like last week, or it's like that used to be biting. You biting my stuff. You got to come up with your own stuff. Yeah. But it's I think it's the peer pressure, the pressure that these guys feel like they have to be popular on social media, so that's what they do, and it's super annoying. Man.
They're recycling other people's jokes, bro. I mean, what?
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Perform, yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's coonery. It's coonery, though, bro. I mean, in my opinion, I hate to use that word, but that's what it is. I'm talking about just like verbatim licks, verbatim chops, the same. I'm like, wow, man, this is like, is this what
It's
This is what we're doing now. This is
right. If people rejected it, they wouldn't do it.
right.
It's like the education of
Right.
people
Right.
to say,
Right. That's right. That's exactly right.
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 So
Yeah.
if most of the time trends, especially in the clubs and stuff like that, was usually to follow women. If they would give women a break to come in the club, so because men will come, right? So if a woman did one thing, my stepsons, for example, I was like, hey man, what's your line? Well, give me a line that you say to these chicks. He said, honestly, I don't have any lines. I was like, you don't have any lines. Like the girls come up to me now. I said, what? Are you serious? I mean, that's a change in norms. Now they don't have to come up with anything creative. They don't even have to choose a chick. The chicks come up to them, and maybe that's what it is now. But so lines are lost. Poetry is lost.
Man,
Saying something clever is lost,
Well, like you said, though, if people rejected it, they wouldn't do it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, I remember reading, I think it was in the liner notes of Headhunters, something that Herbie said about, he was at a party and realized like people that were his age and his, in his age group, young professionals, that they weren't listening to his kind of music. I mean, the stuff that he had been doing, prior to in the 60s and everything, just the atmosphere was changing. And I mean, I just think, at a certain point we played jazz and we played within this tradition, but just to be able to look out and see what's going on around at the time, and maybe, if you can adopt it in a way that stays consistent with the level that you are already presenting, then maybe you have a chance of coming up with something unique. Just there's nothing wrong with being inspired by what's going on, with their contemporaries at the time, that kind of music. And that, like, now it's just so much music everywhere. As far as, other genres and just a back catalog of music. There's so much stuff to be inspired by. And like in hip hop, the whole goal in the 80s was to be different, not copycat anybody. So come up with your own style, which meant that you would, the records that they would, there were certain drum breaks that were everybody would copycat and use and everything. But the goal was, let me go digging so I can find something new.
And they put the white, they put the white label on so people couldn't see what they were using.
Right. And it was just let me find something that.
Oh, go ahead, Darryl. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
The irony is verbatim and inspiration, right? That verses. But I was listening to, I was riding my bike yesterday, man, and Glassbird, the album he did with Think of One on it. I can't think of the name of that album, but anyway, he's playing da da ba da 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 ba 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 ba. He goes into this other riff afterwards, which was killing, right? But somewhere along the line, I was listening to some Ahmad Jamal and Swahili Land came on. And those same chord shapes, I just started smiling. I was like, Robert Glasper took that section and superimposed Think of One over. I was like, that is genius. I said, I never put the two together when I heard it. I was like, I got to call him, Instagram and something. It's like, bruh, because I never heard him mention it, but it is almost the same changes. It was just so clever. And that is like imitation, flattery, and ingenuity all at the same time. It's not like he's just biting totally. He just took something from the masters. And quite as kept, Ahmad Jamal was really sampled a lot by a lot of hip hop artists as well.
Absolutely.
So
definitely.
So him to that homage to Ahmad Jamal, but not saying a thing about it is like a discovery. Like you're like, oh, I just figured something out, So being ingenious or in you having an ingenuity behind something is a skill as well. I'm not saying that you have to be the most fresh thing in the world, but repurposing something is still improvisation. If I take a paperclip and I repurpose it to, open it up and clear out the wax in my earbuds, that becomes a new tool. It's no longer a paper clip. It's a tool that I keep in my bag to clear the earwax out of my, my headphones, earphones. So that's still improvisation, and I just created a new tool from it, So anyway.
All right, fellas. That was a good one, man. Good way to end the show. I want to thank everybody for coming out, checking us out. We gonna chop this down, repurpose it for YouTube. First episode of the breakdown. We're gonna have a lot more of this kind of stuff going, and we appreciate everybody checking us out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Set your notification bell. Let you know when we are live and going to bring you some audio and visual pleasure, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Something to behold. So we got a couple of comments. What's up, Bill? I'm gonna blow this up. I saw Herbie and the Headhunters at a club in San Francisco, 1975. They sounded exactly like the recordings. Mike Clark sounded so nice on the drums. Cool. Appreciate it. We got any more comments or questions? I think that's about it, guys. Hey, what's up, Bill? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. Was that Sassy Strut, man? Sassy Strut. One of the most. We got to do a show on the most bastardized songs of all time, man. That's one of them.
Okay.
Chameleon is another one.
Which one?
Chameleon.
He said Chameleon.
Oh,
is
yeah.
another one.
Chameleon, Sissy Strut. Let me see what else off the top of my head.
What's the song? Chick Corea, Spain.
Spain. Woo! Cats they just be ripping Spain. They strip, don't they?
To be fair, Chick Corea recorded Spain 500 times, 500 different ways, so nobody knows which way to do it.
That ain't no excuse. They all killing though, ain't they?
They are.
Man.
Nobody plays that right, dude. So
you got to have a conversation with the farm.
I already have. I was
wait a second.
All that, man. I'm like, no. Here we go. What else? Off top. Give me one, Tyrone. Give me one. One off top of your head. Top of your head.
Shoot. It's a jazz song I'm thinking about too. Everybody messes it up.
I'll give you another one. Mercy.
Oh, dude. How many times the chicken too? You want to hear the chicken?
The chicken, man. So we're gonna do a show on that, man. Any what?
Any Jocko tune, bro. They're gonna do some stuff to it.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Oh, Blue Bossa.
He said Blue Bossa. Oh,
and
yeah.
Hey, and the original recording of Blue Bossa is killing Kenny Dorn. Man.
Exactly. Yeah, it is right.
Sounds so good, man. Sounds so good. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. We will see you all next week. Peace.